Welcome to Creative Type Podcast. This is episode 33, 1 year anniversary of CTP. I'm Lori Rivera.
Yay! And I'm Jaime Haney.
And welcome to Creative Type Podcast.
Hello, welcome. Dun-dun-dun, 1 year.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
We should have sound effects better than what I'm making.
Yeah, really.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so in case anyone,
is it Miriam that has all the sound effects?
She does have a lot of, Miriam Schulman on the inspiration plate. Yeah, she does.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost too many sometimes, I think.
I love it.
I meant to do that and I forgot. Oh well. Okay,
so
in case
go ahead.
I was just going to say, in case someone doesn't know, CTP, that's us, Creative Type Podcast. And it's our 1 year anniversary. This is our 1 year anniversary recording, we should say, because our anniversary is actually, 2 days ago, right?
On the 24th.
Yeah, on the 24th. So 1 year we've been at this. Now, we did take a little bit of a hiatus in the summer and a little longer than we expected into the fall. But we're back, and we have changed a few things. If you started listening to the podcast in the beginning, then you'll realize that, the format hasn't changed, but the way it sounds is a little different. We're working on that. We're hoping to get it a little bit better. And the reason for that is because, this is Jaime speaking, by the way. The reason for that is my internet is just not good, and we were using Zoom to record our calls for the podcast. And it was working great until it wasn't. And it just got worse and worse. Yeah. And we kind of gave up.
It never worked that great. We had problems in the beginning, but it got worse.
It did. It got worse. And I think it might have had something to do with the school letting out. And all the kids were sucking up the internet, and the campers were sucking up the internet, because we record on Fridays.
Right.
Which, I guess we may have to change that at some point if we ever do go back. But for now, this is working, and we appreciate you listening to us, even if the sound quality isn't very good, and we do apologize for that. Like I said, we're working on it, right, Lori? We're hoping to make it better.
We may have found something to improve our audio, an app that Jaime found. So we'll keep you updated, or either you'll just notice the difference the next time you hear this.
I hope. Right. What was it called? Shasta, right? By Adobe?
I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I think it was. It's still in beta, so right now it's free for a limited amount of minutes to use. So we're going to take advantage of that to see if it works, and who knows? So wish us luck. Yeah. So today, what are we doing? We're going to talk about our favorite podcast, right, Lori?
Yes, our favorite episodes.
All right.
I have about 3. Well, we overlap some.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Why don't you start with yours?
Well, okay. My top favorite is the one, episode 9, is Abstract Art, Real Art. And actually, that is our most popular episode also.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
I know. It's kind of controversial,
Yeah, I guess. And even though we weren't dissing abstract art whatsoever. It was kind of a hook,
kind of contrary, actually.
Right, because we both love abstract art.
Yeah.
So give
that a listen if you're curious to hear what we talked about. It was a great episode. And in that episode, we also discussed who our favorite abstract artists were, both living and deceased.
Deceased, yeah.
And so it was a good episode.
It was good. And like you said, it was apparently a favorite of our listeners, too.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that. And let's see, do you want to say another one? Because I've got a few more than you, I think. Why don't you throw another one in, then I'll take a turn.
Okay. Another favorite of mine was episode 29, which was a recent one. It was called How We Start Off a New Year. And that was a pretty popular one, too. Yeah. And Jaime and I talked about, how we start a new year. Like, we start our books over, we plan for shows, we pay our taxes, we set goals. What else did we talk about in that episode?
Oh, I think we talked about maybe getting together and having a plan to do this, right? We got together and planned our new year together with me, you, and Vicki.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. So,
and it used just all business stuff. But it's, useful. I think a lot of our podcasts are useful. Some of them are kind of just us yammering on, but I think, we always try to include useful things.
Yeah, and I think that one is a really good one, especially if you're a new artist and you're trying to get organized and you're not really sure where to start at the new year.
Yes.
That would be a great place to start. Even if it's the middle of the year, you can start
I agree.
those at any time during the year to get organized.
That's right. You can start any time. You can start over any time to get organized. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. You want me to say a couple of mine now?
Yeah.
All right. So I liked episode 12. I like them all. There aren't any that I don't like. But so I just had to kind of, had to pick it's like picking a favorite child. You can't do that. So I picked episode 12, not giving up on your art or your art business. And, I just think it's good to kind of get a kick in the pants every once in a while. Don't be woe is me, which, I think we all can get that way. I know that I can.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was just an uplifting, get off the ground and get up and get at it again, right?
Get moving.
Yeah, get moving, right. And then I also liked, and I think this may have been an overlap, episode 18, dealing with overwhelm, with artist Vicki Wilson.
That was one of my favorites too.
Yes, right. That was one of our overlaps. So that was really good.
Vicki is so eloquent. She is a great speaker. So give that one a listen for sure. She had some great tips. Yes. And she's just fun to listen to.
Right. And Vicki's been an artist for a long time, and she
just had
a lot of good advice.
Yes. She just had her 9-year anniversary.
Right.
Congratulations. Her artiversary.
Yeah, her artiversary. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. And then I'll go ahead and go because I think you're down to one now, aren't you?
Yeah, I narrowed them down.
Yeah. So another favorite was, and this is episode 22, interview with John Hamby. And I wanted to say this because this was a good podcast, but for whatever reason, I think it was on John's end, wasn't it? We had an echo.
Yeah, and he didn't have headphones.
He didn't have headphones, and that kind of screwed it up. But if you can handle it, go back and listen to it because John's a real character. And I think he had a lot of good advice and good stories, and it was just a really interesting one. I didn't think it was so bad that I couldn't listen to it, and I have this deal with bad sounds, and I wouldn't want to listen to it a lot, but to get the information out of it once, I would listen to it for sure. So put that on your list to make sure you go back, and that's another one. I guess we should have said we have videos with. Everything before, we have videos for everything before episode, 26. Yeah, so 26 was the first one where we just have audio, and the audio, sadly, is not that great. But, yeah, the one with John Hamby, episode 22, that has accompanying video with it. And why don't you go on?
You get to see his studio.
Yeah, right. You can see his studio.
Yeah, and Vicki was in her studio for hers as well, so you can see her little background and stuff. That's
right, yeah. And then you can just see us talking to each other on the other ones and all our silly little mannerisms.
Yeah.
All right, what have you got next on your list?
Well, one of them that I liked was Artists Beware, Stories from Real Life, Stories from Real Artist Life.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites because we talk about all the problems, well, not all, but some of our worst experiences being an artist.
And we had quite a few.
Yeah, and a couple of them were a little bit comical, actually, too. Like when I talked about, going to that art show and to that small town.
Oh, yes.
Remember that? And, my tent wouldn't stay up, and oh my gosh, and nobody there was interested in fine art. People were
that was like
their hair bows and hair bows and just, gosh, I don't know what else. But
that was like an I Love Lucy episode.
Yeah.
If it could go wrong, it would, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
so I liked that one too. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, so on that one we talked a lot about little things that we've encountered ourselves. So this is not just hearsay. This is stuff we had encountered ourselves. Another good one. I like that one as well. But I knew that you had it on there, so I left it off. So my next one is episode 24, and that's our painting session in Jaime's Gardens, part 1. Now, I don't know what happened to part 2 because I don't think it ever got listed.
I don't think so either.
No, but so it is just last summer, you and Vicky came over. I think it was just 3 of us. I don't think Sandy was there, was she?
No.
No, okay. And we were just painting in my garden, and the fish were swimming, and the birds were chirping, and the little insects were doing their little tweeting things, and it was just so fun. I love it when you guys come over and paint my gardens with me.
Oh, me too.
And you guys are just a fly on the wall. And I don't know about you, but I think those are really interesting to listen to natural conversation and even just the lulls, when we're not talking. It's fun to watch. It's, definitely go back and watch that one on YouTube, our YouTube channel, because that's a good one.
Yeah. And during the lulls, you can hear all the nature sounds, which is so relaxing.
And I think that we can see you create your painting, can't we? Or is that Vicky? I think it's
no, I think it was Vicky.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you can watch her paint her painting in that one. All right. So did you have any others?
I'm looking here. I did have a couple others. I also liked episode 25, Spreading Yourself Too Thin.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, that was the one where you came to my studio and we recorded together in the same room for the first time and the only time.
That was fun. That was fun.
It was fun. It was like a whole different dynamic because we were in the same room.
Yes,
It
was. Yeah.
So that was fun. And I guess one of my takeaways from that was do 1 or 2 things and do them well.
Yeah, right.
We talked about that.
And trying to do everything, kind of the same adage of jack of all trades, master of none.
Right.
So you want to try to, I don't know about master, but try to get as close to mastering 1 or 2 items, like you said, and before you move on to something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good advice. Yeah.
Right. And we mentioned social media on that episode. Instead of being on YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or is it called X now? Instead of being on all of them, you should maybe be on 1 or 2 and just try to do those well.
Yes. And I don't know about you, but I've just totally cut out X. I don't mess with it. I never I never sold a thing on Twitter. It was just a time suck. I was trying to, I spread myself too thin by doing that. So I took our own advice and I got rid of that one. And I don't think Twitter is artist. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't think Twitter is artist friendly. I think my friend Ruth Anna Evans, the author and the book cover designer, she does great on there.
Oh, that's
she's
good.
An author.
Yes, I think it is good for authors. Yes. I've heard that before. And we also talked about, don't have too many galleries or retail stores that you can't keep your stuff fresh in there too. Right. So that's a good one to revisit. That is a good one. I'd forgotten about that one. Yeah. All right. So then my next one and my last one. Of course, like I said, I like them all, but we had to pick. So episode 27, and that was your open studios, Lori. I really liked that. I think that offered, hands-on, great information, because you just went through that. You just had your first open studio, and it went well, and you're going to plan on having another one, so I'm excited for you on that. But just you sharing all these little minute details and stuff, that's the kind of thing that we need to hear. We need to, as an artist, we want to know how other people are doing it, just to kind of give us an idea on where we can go with that. And I think you gave out so much good information, and was real generous with what you learned and what you bought, what you didn't buy, what you did, and everything. I thought was a really good one.
Well, thanks. I was glad to do it.
Oh, yeah, I know you were, because your thing turned out great. I'm so happy for you on that.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, so is that it for our favorites, or did you have another one?
I think so. No, I looked back. I think that was about it for me.
Yeah.
And,
like I
the
said, I
words
like
that
them
you
all, yeah.
overlap.
Yes.
So.
Right. And they're all good. So if you haven't listened, this is our 33rd episode. So go back and listen to the others and maybe catch a few of the videos that we had as well. And let's see, what else do we have business-wise? Oh, we have a giveaway.
Winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
So we did the random generator thing, and I took a list of all the people who left. We asked, in order to win this tote bag that we are going to send out free of charge, it says Creative Type Artist on there. And in order to win that, all you had to do was leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you could, right? And then you were to email us and let us know that you did that. And thank you, everybody, for the ones that did that and sent us email.
Thank you.
And we may not have gotten a reply to some of the reviews because, it's kind of strange the way these things work, isn't it? Especially Spotify.
Yeah.
Man, it took us forever to figure out where to even see these replies or answers on Spotify. It's not very user-friendly. I love Spotify. I have a membership myself, and we listen to it. We've got a family membership, and you can listen to some great music, no commercials and all that. But, man, when it comes to podcasts, it did not. I still can't find out where you can read the reviews. Can you, Laura?
Yeah, no, it's not user-friendly at all.
It isn't. So
even Apple doesn't give you a way to respond.
Right.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Of course, respond to review, that makes sense, right? You can't really respond to review. But on Spotify, on each episode, I'm not sure how it does it on the phone, but like I looked on the desktop version, and you can answer the Q&A. There's a Q&A on the screen that ask you a little question on there, and you can answer it. So we had a user answer the question, and I wanted to give her a shout out because we didn't see it. Actually, we didn't see her answer to that Q&A until today, and her name was Charlene Styles. And Charlene, I hope I'm saying your name right. Charlene. But thank you so much for giving that answer to us on there. We appreciate it. We're so glad you're listening. And you didn't mention if you were an artist or not, but I would assume you are. So good luck in all your paintings or sculpture or whatever it is you do. And I just wanted to say thank you for doing that. And anyone else, if you happen to leave us answers for the Q&A, we will see them eventually. Spotify doesn't give us very good records or a way to even see that very easily.
We don't get a notification or anything.
No notification and no way to reply to the person. So if you don't get a reply, that's why we can't do it. So unless you email us and tell us that you did, and Charlene did, so we saw that this morning. And thank you, Charlene, again. But let's get to the fun part. The winner is, do you want to say who it is?
Lisa G.
Woo! Lisa, our Fartupi. Congratulations, Lisa. We mention her every once in a while on the podcast. She's a friend of both of ours, and I'm glad she won. That's fun. And it was not rigged at all because I just went to that random generator and punched in all the numbers, and I said, "Oh my God, it's Lisa!" So congratulations, Lisa. That was fun.
Congrats.
Yeah, so we'll be getting that tote bag out to her, and here's to another year, right, and longer of Creative Type Podcast. Right. So what do you have? Do you have any goals for the podcast for this year? We didn't really talk about this ahead of time, but do you see this going in any kind of direction? Different?
I guess a very basic goal is to just stick with it, not take any more long breaks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that.
Because we had that break last year, and so that's my very basic goal. I guess a bigger goal than that would be to get back into doing artist interviews. We are looking into how to do that. We cannot make three-way calls with Google Voice, which is what we're using to record these podcasts now. So we are looking for an alternative, a way that we can do a three-way call and not use Zoom to do it, because Zoom gives us problems.
Yes, and so if there's anyone out there that knows how to do that, has any advice for us on how to record these phone calls, that's the thing. We need to be able to have audio, so we need to be able to record from different areas. So, Lori and I are not sitting in the same room together. She's in her house and I'm in mine. And so, and we hope to get a third person on there to do these recordings. So if you have any ideas, shoot them to us. We would be so appreciative.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Email us at creativetypepodcast@gmail.com. I'll have that in the show notes. And, my goals are basically the same as yours. I think I think you're exactly right about taking that long hiatus. It was a little too easy. We slid into that, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
But then when we got back into it, it was fine. We got right back into it. It was a little harder. It's more work to have the video. So this is easier without the video.
Oh, yeah, a lot easier.
Yeah, so I think it'll be easier for us to keep that goal. And unless it gets, to where I have a good internet, reliable, like maybe someday fiber will come out here. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. But then we could take turns and it wouldn't be all the work on you for editing the video. And maybe we could get to videos again someday if we do that. And special occasions. Like another goal of mine would be for us to come out and paint again. And I guess we'd have to look at the analytics on that video. Maybe nobody liked that one because if you're just listening, it may not be that exciting. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember what they were on that one.
I don't either. I don't think I've ever even looked at that one. But let us know what kind of podcast you'd like to hear, and just email that to us. We would love to know. We'd like to take that into consideration and talk about that. And again, I want to have other artists on here too, and we do have some lined up, right? We're going to have your friend, the author, on here as soon as we can figure out how to do it. We might have to do that one in person because she's local to us. So that may be one time that we would have to all get in your studio and do it. Yeah. If that's all right with you.
Yeah. So give us a little bit of research time to figure out how we're going to do this. Right. Those interviews may not come right away.
Right, but we are working on it. We haven't forgotten about them, and they're on our list because that's kind of we like to hear from other artists because I know that when I'm listening to podcasts, I love to hear that sort of thing.
Me too.
How other artists work and how their business is going, and just lets us know we're not alone, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, this has been a good podcast. 1 year anniversary, Lori. Congratulations. Yay. Thank you for being my podcast host and hostess.
Yay.
Yay.
Yes, thank you.
This has been fun.
It's a party.
It is. It's a party. Sometimes we're like, oh shit, what are we going to talk about? But
and then we'll talk for 45 minutes.
I know. It's just like, oh my God, we just talked 40 minutes. About nothing. No, it's always about something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good. Okay, well, unless you have something else, I think I'll close this out.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, well, thank you for listening to Creative Type Podcast and celebrating this 1 year anniversary with us. We're so appreciative that you listen, and if you feel it in your heart to give us a review, we would love it. Oh, I want to give a shout out to somebody too. Linda Blondheim. She listens regularly, and she has been sending us like little love notes is kind of what I think of them. Emails, encouraging us and talking about the podcast and her opinions on what we talked about. And I just love that. I just think that is the greatest thing ever. So thank you, Linda. Shout out to you.
Thank you.
Her studio is in Gainesville, Florida. I always like to tell people that. She is a fantastic artist and a past mentor of mine. Still a mentor. She just doesn't know it. But yeah, it's just, I want to give a shout out to her. Yeah, she's great.
She paints gorgeous Florida landscapes.
Florida landscapes, the natural Florida, upland Florida, I think is what she calls it. Yeah, they're just beautiful. So go find her on her website, lindablondheim.com. Find her on Facebook, and she does a lot for artists too because she gives advice and she has a great blog. Sign up for her newsletter. She
gives out a lot of free information.
She really does.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
And if you follow her on Facebook, I don't know, is she on Instagram too? I'm not sure if I follow her on Instagram. Okay, so I follow her on Facebook because I see her post. She posts a new painting, or I don't know if it's a new painting, but she posts a painting every day, pretty much.
Every day. Yeah. She is very prolific.
Yes,
painting
very.
all the time. And I know that she's had some health issues, and she still manages to create. I mean, she's just a wonder. You know, if she's not able to stand in her studio, she is cutting up paper and making paper, kind of like flat sculptures on paper. It's amazing, the stuff that she has done. I don't know if you've seen those or not before, but she's made she went through a whole paper making thing where she was dyeing her own papers and putting flowers and things all. I mean, it was really cool. If you follow her newspaper or her newsletter, it'll tell you everything that she was going through on that. But anyway, shout out to Linda. Thank you again for listening and our 1 year anniversary. We're so excited and just love all our listeners. Thank you so much. And congratulations, Lisa G. She's the winner of the Tote Bag. So maybe next year when we do this, we'll give 2 things out. Now, I don't know if we're going to do that on and on because that could get expensive. But next year, maybe 2 winners. But thanks again, everybody. And
thank you.
We're going to sign off and give us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And we just love it. Follow us on social medias. We're on Facebook and Instagram. And we'll see you next week. Thank you, Lori.
See ya. Thanks.
Bye. Bye-bye.